Hey, what's up? Erik Schultek, and this is my kit. Yeah, so this is my DW Performance series with a black mirror finish. 100% all maple, HVX shells. HVX is something that DW Drums does, proprietary. They have different plies of wood grains go in different directions, horizontal, vertical, or cross, depending upon the drum and the tone desired. It's something that makes them unique. And these drums, they always sound live, and they also sound just recordable and perfect every time. Yeah, this isn't my full setup. I have an 8-inch by 7-inch deep rack tom and a 14-inch by 14-inch floor tom that isn't in this setup, but I'm always changing configurations, depends on the project or what I'm doing at the time. This current setup, it's a 10-inch by 8-inch rack tom, a 12-inch by 9-inch rack tom, and a 16 by 16-inch standalone floor tom. I love the hardware that DW has. Their suspension tom mounts are very awesome. They allow the drum to ring freely without creating any extra noise or cutting off any of the sustain. These drums, they just have such a low punch and they're just so articulate. That's why I've loved them for so long. They just sound like real drums. They're great for live. Obviously, they project, and then in the studio, they're just amazing to record. Kick drums, I got 2 of them. They're both 18-inch by 22-inch deep. The snare, I love this snare. It's a DW Collector's Series. It's a knurled bronze, 14 by 6.5 inches deep. So versatile, and this thing projects and cuts like crazy. This is the Derek Roddy signature model. I just love how the snare bed has 3 different positions on this snare drum, so it can be so versatile without even really touching the top head tuning. It's got a mag throw off, and I have the sound hoops, top and bottom mics on this. I'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah, I love playing Axis pedals. I have 2 of the longboards. I've had these same models for 20 years. I've had them refabbed once, but they've lasted the test of time. I use a pretty high angle, so I use a couple toe risers in there, and fairly high spring tension is kind of what I prefer. I've really got into the Foot Blaster triggers in the last year or so. They've never let me down. They perform in and out, live and in studio. I'm really digging these. As far as triggers, I love the Roland TM2. I've had that the last couple years. It's a great module. And I've loaded my personal sample in that I like to use, and shout out to George Coleus for giving me that bad boy, because it's one of the best kick drum samples I've ever heard, and I use it to this day. Love you, George. I'm a huge fan of Pearl hardware. I just think they're sturdy and they last. They don't slip. They don't slide around. In this particular setup, I'm not using my rack. I normally have a Pearl Icon rack. Everything's on stands for, we were playing some live shows, so just for ease of moving. But like I said, I'm always tweaking my setup. But Pearl stands are sturdy as hell, and they're my go-to for sure. Any Pearl hardware rules. Yeah, so let's talk about the mics a little bit. Man, sound hoops. These mics are perfect for drums. First off, they're very low profile. They're totally out of the way. But man, they're so articulate. Now, they come with steel hoops with, the mic mount built right in. So you don't have, mic stands all over the place. It just makes things look really clean, sexy. Everything's out of the way. Plus, they're in the same spot all the time. But these mics, they are just badass. I mean, they are punchy and articulate. They're just phenomenal. I've been using them for a while. Shout out to Apostolos Zios and the Sound Hoops company. They've been great to me, but you guys got to check these out. They definitely help you create a badass drum sound. So yeah, cymbals. The hi-hat that I use is a 13-inch Meinl Byzance Serpent's hats. They're the Derek Rowdy signature model. They're 1 inch less than standard 14. And I don't know, I just kind of like a little bit of even 1 inch can sometimes matter behind the kit. Anyway, I just like that these things they're very versatile, because on the bottom they have a darker side. So if you're going to play another style of music, maybe it's jazz and you want a darker hi-hat, you can just flip the top to the bottom on these. So kills two birds with one stone. The ride I'm using right now is a 20-inch Meinl MB10 Bell Blast ride. I'm a big fan of having a larger bell, and I'm always switching rides out. I can't say that I've had, or found the perfect one yet, but this one projects a lot for live gigs and stuff, and in the studio. Doesn't overly ring, so it's kind of perfect. As far as crashes, yeah, Sabian 18-inch AEX Sabian metal crashes. The one on the right, I tend to ride on a little bit more, so it's the full-on AEX, a little bit heavier, washier sound, and I have an 18-inch APX on the left, which is kind of a sharper but a little bit brighter of a crash. Yeah, so China cymbals. I love China cymbals. And I'm always playing accents and stuff like that, and that's what these are perfect for. So my go-to has been, 18-inch Sabian AEXs. I have a 19-inch Extreme China on the right, which has a different texture. And then, of course, I have a little bit of a smaller one on the left, which is also Extreme. It's a 15-inch. But that seems to kind of round out some different sounds that I've been going for in my recent projects, at least. If you made it this far, thanks for checking out the video. Hit that like and subscribe button. I have a bunch of brand new content coming out shortly, some drum playthroughs and a bunch of fun stuff. So until then, cheers.